So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video reacting to the fact that Ariel Helwani had announced that he is going to leave ESPN, which has now happened. He has now left ESPN. And a few people have asked me to react to his next moves, which I'm about to do. But before I do, my name's Rahul J. Chan. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do subscribe to the channel. Now look, man, Ariel Helwani announced his next moves a while ago, on the 21st of June to be precise, because I've got the video on here right in front of me, and we are now on the 1st of July, so I'm basically 2 weeks late, right? So I'm not going to go through this in granular detail. I just want to kind of share my own kind of thoughts and what I'm excited about personally, because I'm a fan of Ariel Helwani. I like the content that he creates, and I feel like we're going to get a version 2.0 of Ariel Helwani, and I'm going to kind of talk about that in a bit, but I just want to talk about the couple of things that I'm excited about. First and foremost, BT Sport. Obviously, I'm from the UK. I digest a lot of content that BT Sport put out there, both online and on the telly, and I think Ariel Helwani, I don't know exactly what he's going to be doing for them. I understand he'll be doing some of the interviewing. I think he might be at live events, etc. And I'm looking forward to what he brings to the team, because I feel like they've kind of got all grounds covered with the team that they have at the moment. I really like the interviews that Adam Catterall does with fighters and with Dana White before big events. So I can't really see where Ariel Helwani is going to fit into all of that. But that's why I'm excited, because obviously they have an idea of what they're going to do with him. So the fact that BT Sport have snapped him up, I'm quite glad that they're investing in their own content around the sport and not just kind of putting on the fights and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. Also, the fact that the MMA Hour is back. Like I said to you guys, I've always been a fan of the MMA Hour. I'm a big fan of how Ariel Helwani interviews people. When I've done my own interviews on this channel, on the odd occasion, I wouldn't say I've copied it. Like because I've listened to so many of his interviews, I feel like he's one of the best interviewers out there, because he doesn't load questions up with his own opinion, and he will just ask a simple basic question and let someone express themselves, and then let the conversation progress from that. And I really enjoy the way he does that. A lot of people call him like a what is the word, instigator and stuff like that. I don't see it. Like, he asks a question, whoever he's asked a question to are more than they have the right to just not answer the question. They can just say, actually, no, I'm not really comfortable answering that, mate, so can you ask me the next question? Do you know what I mean? You can't get angry at the guy for asking the question if you don't like the answer that the person responding gives you. That's the way I see it anyway. So the MMA Hour is coming back on Monday and Wednesday, and people were saying, oh, look, he's going to come and he's providing competition for Luke Thomas. And Luke Thomas obviously is part of the Morning Combat team with Brian Campbell, and they go every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'm assuming that Ariel Helwani is going to be on at the same time as them, because that is the old slot that Ariel Helwani had on Mondays with the MMA Hour back in the day, but he's going twice now. So I don't know whether this is a conscious decision between of trying to compete with Luke Thomas and Morning Combat because of his sworn enemyship with Luke Thomas. I don't know. But what I suspect is, well, when I say suspect, I listened to an interview that Ariel Helwani did with Mike Heck from MMA Fighting, and I encourage you guys to listen to it because I found it quite interesting. He said kind of Monday would be a direct his Monday show would be a fallout from what happened to the weekend, at the weekend prior, and the Wednesday show would kind of be more of a look ahead for what's coming in the future. But the thing that I like most about this is the fact that he's going to be back interviewing fighters, managers, people connected to the sport, and that's what I enjoy. The thing that I'm most excited about is this Spotify podcast, because it's with an organization called Ringer, and I'm not overly familiar with Ringer. It's not really, I think it's an American outlet that cover American sports, and this is the only American sport that I'm interested in. And I feel like I saw a tweet from, is it Ben Simmons, the guy that owns it? I think, I'm not sure, but he said that they're going to be investing more in MMA content, and I'm excited because they've got Chuck involved. So Chuck Mindenhall and Ariel Helwani we'll be doing ad hoc podcasts, reacting to breaking news, etc., etc. And that is kind of what I'm really excited about, because I feel like one thing that Ariel has said repeatedly is that he now can say exactly what he wants and how he feels. And I found that interesting, because I always felt that Ariel Helwani kind of did say how he felt, but maybe not to as overtly as he wanted to express himself. Obviously, because of the connection between ESPN and the UFC, he was probably being asked not to be so anti-UFC, because it's an organization that is broadcast on the outlet that he's working for. So there's a bit of a dependency there. Do you know what I mean? So now that he's working completely independent of the broadcasting company that broadcasts the UFC, the shackles are off, it seems. And I noticed this just this week with a thread that Ariel Helwani posted on Twitter with regards to Hunter Campbell, as part of the fallout to Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou not kind of being part of the next heavyweight title, the interim title, heavyweight title fight between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. He was kind of giving us a character background of Hunter Campbell, and how Hunter Campbell's a guy that tends to threaten fighters by stripping them of the belt if they don't do as the UFC want them to do. And said Stipe Miocic was threatened at least 3 times and things of that nature. And those are tweets that he hasn't done in the past when he was working with ESPN, when he was connected to Fox, and who were the broadcasters for the UFC prior to ESPN. And this is what I said in my previous video when he mentioned that he's leaving ESPN. I wanted him to kind of just share his thoughts and his opinions, because I value what he has to say. Do you know what I mean? I value his thoughts on the sport. I value his thoughts on people within the sport. I value his thoughts on the establishment, the powers that be. And actually, going back to me personally, like my most successful videos on YouTube have been about this beef between Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani. And actually, you know what? Like, they probably won't appreciate me saying this, but they're actually more alike than they're not. Do you know what I mean? Because they both have very strong opinions about the sport and about the UFC, and how the UFC manage their fighters, or how the relationship between the UFC and its fighters. And I don't feel like either of them are very happy or feel like it's very fair. And Luke Thomas has been vocal about this. Luke Thomas has done videos talking about fighter pay and unions and all of that stuff, and gone into real deep low-level detail about all of it. He's had experts on that have done the analysis, etc. And I feel like now Ariel Helwani is going to be on a similar sort of route. He's just going to not filter himself, and he's going to say exactly how he feels. I just hope he doesn't go down the bloody elbow route and just be totally anti-UFC no matter what happens and how it happens, and just spin everything that Dana White says negatively, because then that will, for me personally, he will lose a bit of what's the word? There's a word for this. Credibility. Credibility is a word. He will lose credibility, in my opinion. But as it stands, if he is fair in his analysis of events that happen in the UFC and is able to back it up with the kind of tweets that he posted about Hunter Campbell earlier this week, then I am here for it. I can't wait. I can't wait for this new era in Ariel Helwani's career, because he's aligned himself to some big kind of big organizations, big outlets in the sport of MMA, and he's basically a free agent doing what he wants. Like, he's almost like a contractor, hired help. Like, he doesn't have one set home, and he is the biggest name when it comes to covering MMA from a journalist point of view. And I'm excited to see, man. I just wish he didn't go on holiday. he's coming back in August, so we got to wait all of July. We got to miss his coverage of Poirier and McGregor and whatnot. But I do hope he comes back rested and recharged, so we get the best version of him in August. And these are my thoughts on Ariel Helwani and his next move. I'm excited. I'm a fan. I can't wait for the shows to start. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to like this video. Share this with a friend if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys next time.